Hi, this is Miss Kelly Marie, and you are in tune to Dance TV.
Good evening. Dance TV tonight is at the Amos Club in the seaside of Athens for the first party of Headcandy. And with us we have Kelly Marie from the UK. Good evening, Kelly.
Good evening, Greece. Good evening. Hi.
Welcome to Greece.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have you ever played here before?
I have actually. We did a Headcandy gig about 3 months ago in Athens. I've also played for Kay and Lollipop in Rhodes as well about 3 years ago now, but maybe even more. So I've been to Greece a few times.
Tell us a few things about how did you start your career and what made you get into the DJing?
Okay, basically I'm from quite a musical background actually. My father was a bass guitarist in a band and runs a record label, very mainstream, and obviously manages artists and things like that. So it's pretty much been part of my life, sort of growing up in it. I suppose initially like house music came about me going around with a group of friends in about 94. We used to go out raving and things like that all the time, and they were very much into hardcore and rave, and they all had decks and like everyone would go around there and play and things like that. And then one of them started buying like US house basically, and I was like, oh my god, you know, this music. So to actually find it back then, you needed really to get vinyl. I mean, there's a few compilations and things like that. Ministry were doing a few things, but to actually find that music, you got it on vinyl. So it started my vinyl addiction completely, and started collecting, and really started. I mean, I did parties and things like that, but really started playing out. Really, I paid to play in about '98. So that's how it all started.
All right. For the people that are not yet familiar with your music, how would you describe your style?
I'm very much influenced by the 70s. Obviously, people like Roy Ayers, like Gwen McGrae. Soulful, basically soulful, but obviously I fuse kind of more the soulful sound and vocal stuff into like very Latin, Afro, quite uplifting. I like happy music basically, and then, you know, a lot of the electronic sound I'm also feeling, but it's kind of got to be musical in some direction, good production wise, and more in the P-funk electro, funky still.
All right. What's the best collaboration you have had so far with a DJ, either for a track, creating a track, or playing along together, or warm-up?
I mean, there's lots of people. Obviously, I love all the Headcandy DJs, and we all really work well together because we've been working together for a long time and we know what we all play. As far as production-wise, I was under the Soul 8 banner, which is me and a guy called Danny Keith and a vocalist called Marte, and we released quite a few tracks, and that works brilliantly. I work with Marte as like my main vocalist, and I've just done a collaboration with a guy called Wes Clark that's part of Headcandy, brilliant producer. And that track's brilliant, so we work really well together. I also work with another guy called Cosmetic, which does more in the minimals sort of sound, but because we fuse, it's electronic funk with a minimal kind of beat. That's good as well. So I work with quite a few people. Yeah.
Tell us a few things about your residencies.
My residencies obviously is for Headcandy. I've been working with them for about 2.5 years, about 2 years actually. And also Stereo Sushi, which is a Suda part of Headcandy, which is more of the soulful, deeper side. A lot of people don't realise that it's actually part of the same brand. I do the radio for them as well, which is on Saturdays on Ministry of Sound Radio. 8 till 10 if you want to tune in, or it is archived if you're not up that early in the morning. But I actually started my career as a resident at Trade, which is one of the biggest gay after-hour clubs in London, or was back then, at Turnmills. And I guest regularly basically for other people as well. I have lots of agency work and do lots of corporate events as well.
All right. What's the best gig you ever been so far?
God, I really love what I do, so I enjoy most events. It sounds cheesy, but I really, really do. There's a few that stand out. I was a resident about 2 years ago for a club called Seven Apples. I'm actually playing out this weekend in Italy. I can never pronounce it, so sorry the Italians, but it's called Viareggio in Tuscany. But our whole experience there was brilliant. I've done a Headcandy tour for Brazil as well, which was amazing. Actually in Canada, I mean, to be honest, all all the Hed Kandi events are brilliant. The atmosphere is amazing. So doing something like a tour abroad where, you know, you're away for a month and you're touring around and you're kind of giving them that happy sort of vibe is always brilliant. So
is that the Hed Kandi for you?
I think, yeah, for me, I mean, musically, Hed Kandi is very actual, very, very versatile. You've got Nucore, which is more of the deeper, sort of sound, the beach kind of sound. You've got the chill out. You know, you've got obviously the disco candy and the twisted disco. So it kind of, it can be like, you know, I could play for a whole night and take it from right the way, you know, early on, right the way to the end of the night as well. And that's what's really good with Hed Kandi, is there's this big umbrella full of different music, which kind of caters for everyone. But I do feel that all the music is happy, if that makes any sense. So, you know, the people that come are all dressed up, they look good, they're ready for a night out, there's no attitude, there's no problem, and it's just a pleasure to play.
Okay, tell us what is your plans for the 2007?
It's quite busy actually. I'm doing a tour for Hed Kandi in July in Australia. So we do a whole tour of like Sydney, Melbourne, Bondi, Canberra, like the whole thing. So obviously we're excited to do that. In between that, obviously flying back and forth and spending loads of time in Heathrow, Stansted and Gatwick, I'm going to be in the studio because I've got loads of unfinished projects. I've got an album to get out. So in between that, so yeah, playing lots and in the studio, and yeah, just generally quite busy. So it's great.
Right. So what do you do when you're not DJing?
God, I obsessive with music. I mean, I used to do martial arts. I say used to. I used to compete for Great Britain. So I'm trying to get my training back up, but because I've been so busy, that's definitely like slackened. Obviously do the radio, but it is pretty much music. Yeah.
All right. What do you think about the web radio?
It's good. Well, obviously I play for Ministry of Sound, which is on the web. So I think, you know, obviously with doing, I mean, I did do pirate radio in London. It's where we all start. You know, when you're like 17, 18, you just want to play your music. It doesn't matter where it is, whether it's in some tower block with dodgy people, sorry. But you just want to play your music. And obviously things have developed with the internet radio. You know, you can pretty much promote yourself playing. Anyone can listen all over the world. And now with Ministry, they're actually archived as well. So as I said, my shows are from 8 till 10 in the morning, which is quite early. So you're either going to come back, but I don't see yourself getting up at 8. But because it's archived, people can still go on and download your mixes and still listen to you. So I think, you know, it's the way things are going. And with the DAB radio now, you know, people can get special you know, things for their car, so they can actually log into the internet radio as well. So I find it the future. It is the way forward.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.